All right. Hey.
Hello there.
How's it going?
Going well.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. So what are you having?
Some white wine.
Oh, me too. Except for, I think, well, it's really kind of sad. It's a Cremant and it's, which is sort of like champagne, believe it or not. And I filled my glass higher than I normally would because I need it.
Yeah, I hear you. It's, life has a way of just making you pour just a little bit, maybe more than.
Little more. It's just, and the thing is, I'm trying to finish this bottle. I'm in all honesty. I gotta finish it, but sadly, it's a little flat. I think it's not quite as bubbly, so it's not that great. Yeah. But whatever, I don't care. Nick can come and tell me, how wrong I am.
He could bring you, a good choice of a bottle, and
great idea.
Excellent
plan.
Work, right?
Yes.
So, I guess, Mr. Rose, if you're listening, just let us know where we should send Rhonda's address. 2 bottles would be nice. Ship one to me after the fact. Okay.
Absolutely.
Right. All right. So, what do you want to talk about today?
Okay, so I did this whole Katy Kafe thing yesterday, and I'm sure people saw it. And the whole thing is John, right? Your boy, I don't know. Yesterday he was talking about how, the album, actually Katy asked him, if you were a betting man,
oh God,
when would the album be out? And he wouldn't even take the bet. He wouldn't even try. Not one guess. She even said, she's like, what about summer? And he's like, no, I wouldn't put money on that. And I at first I was like, what? And then I was like, wait.
I'm envisioning this huge balloon that says Duran Hope. And then I see John Taylor just.
Yeah. He literally took his knife and went.
Yeah. Yep. That's what I'm hearing. So great.
Yeah. It was excellent news. But what was really sad is that.
Is it like a situation like, I think of when politicians go into debate and their spokespeople go in and they're not going to have a very good performance, right? Setting up the really super low expectations so that you have to meet it or go above it. Do you get a sense that that's what's happening?
I sure as hell hope so.
Out of honesty, this thing's not happening.
I really don't know, because part of me is I know they've been working on something. Mm-hmm. They've name dropped. It's too late. They can't just say, oh no, we've scrapped that album. Bye-bye. And I don't think that's what he was saying. I really don't. Yeah. So, but I just think that they're not in a hurry.
Timeline. Yeah, they're not in a hurry. They didn't want to give it.
They're not in a hurry. Mm-hmm. And I mean, let's be honest. We're still in a pandemic. COVID is still present. Mm-hmm. I don't know when.
They do have shows scheduled.
That's what I hear. Yeah.
I guess so to me, in my mind, that seems perplexing that you would have shows coming up this summer.
Yeah.
Again, theoretically, and not try to at least aim. I don't know. In terms of then again, I'm not in the business, so maybe that's a dumb idea. I don't know, but it just seems to me it would be a logical move to try to get it released at least near the time.
Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? See, the thing is I think that they were on a timeline. They knew what they were doing. I think they had great hopes of, releasing this thing in the spring. I don't know what the hang up is, if there's actually a hang up, or if it's that they're wait a minute, COVID's not going to be gone. We can't tour. Why are we bothering?
Mm-hmm. Except for.
So there's more to this. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So then he says, or no, actually, I guess maybe she said, I don't remember. One of them says, well, maybe you could release 1 or 2 songs. And I remember him going, yeah, maybe we could release 1 or 2 songs beforehand, but I don't know if that's going to happen. And I'm sitting there going, just stomp on my head. Why don't you stomp on my dreams? And I was really sad because, there's been this rumor that's been going around, you know, oh, late spring for sure. And I'm like, I don't, well, maybe late spring, maybe John didn't get the memo.
Maybe not
told everyone late spring and he didn't get that memo.
Yep. Maybe the rumor is about when people are saying late spring, maybe they're thinking late spring 2022 or 2023 or 2035. I don't know. Like, I'm obviously
like what, 100?
No, I mean, but, yeah.
I don't know. This band doesn't get it.
No.
I mean, I know that they're like, you know.
And we say this with all the love in our hearts, but sometimes, boys, we just really don't think you get it.
No, I don't think they get it. Because, I mean, in this same Katy Kafe, you know, and whether it was before or after this, I couldn't really tell you at this point. But he's explaining about how Bowie, you know, Bowie had came out with a million different box sets, I guess. And I really don't know much about it because I'm not a Bowie fan. I don't collect his stuff. However, you know, apparently there's a lot of box sets. And Katy was like, well, you guys could put out some box sets. I think it's time. And she was really trying to be encouraging. And he's like, I don't know. You know, his attitude is that Bowie obviously is not going to be putting out new music, which duh. But, you know, and I get that. But, you know, the box sets somehow, I think, meet some sort of need for their fans. And he was very like, you know, the Bowie fans really want that stuff. And the way he said it, I was like, your fans want this stuff. Your fans want a new album. They want a box set. They want anything you're going to give them.
Right. I mean, look at the reception. And this is what I was going to say. Like, look at the reception that happened, you know, what, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, when 5 Years was released. It was like a Pavlovian response of like, oh my God, like saliva, like, you know, drooling, like we can't get enough of it. I mean, it was pretty, you know, it was like people wanted to take that song, open it up and like go inside of it and live there, right? Like, I mean, it was a sight to behold in the fan community, at least what I saw. I mean, people just, it was like, you know, it was like they had never heard music before and heard it for the first time, sort of like, you know, grand moment of amazingness. And I'm not saying that to knock the song, like that has nothing to do with it. My point is just, we are a starved fan community.
Yeah.
And so this idea, and I mean, the only thing I will say to give some possible benefit of the doubt is that I do know that at times the fan community has been critical of, I'll give you an example, right? When Paper Gods came out, it was released, you know, you could get whatever X tracks and this version, and then you had to go to Target to get these different tracks, and then you had to get a Best Buy version or whatever the hell it was, right? And people sort of felt like, oh, and then you buy a ticket on Ticketmaster and you're going to get another CD, right? And it kind of felt like they were sort of trying to, you know, and again, I say it's whomever is making these deals, right? But like trying to sort of milk it for all it was worth. And like, you're not really putting out anything super different, but you're making it really hard on fans to get a hold of each and every song. You're making, you know, and like, are you doing that solely to make money? It feels a little icky. And maybe he thinks that the fan community, well, we already have all this, so we wouldn't buy, you know, an anthology because there's no need. However, go ahead.
So his idea, I hear you and exactly what you're saying. In fact, I think I said some of that yesterday in my response. Right. But they were talking about an anthology in terms of it being everything. And by everything, I mean music that had not previously been released. So he's like, you know, he goes, it takes us going back and looking at all of the unreleased but finished songs and seeing which of those could be included, as well as the unreleased songs, which of those could be finished. And so I don't want to make it sound like it's an easy task, but I mean, you know, I don't know that even when Katy was talking to him yesterday, that she even meant that it was that big of a task. I mean, we're talking about just your basic box sets, because if we go back and look, and this is something that we're going to talk about in the next Vodka Friday, you know, you go back and look at what they've done. There is a definite like empty space after Greatest.
Right.
Correct? I mean, they haven't done a box set since the late 90s.
Box sets, what, in like 2003, like when they came out with
the
single?
But I mean, the music is not from really anything.
No.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that
people would go.
So there is room for them to do just that. And honest to God, people would go nuts. I mean, just for that. And that's music we already have.
One or two songs that we've never heard before.
By all means, they should feel free to do that.
People would lose it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and then you have, you know, songs like Beautiful Colors that a lot of fans have heard, but would love to hear it, you know, hear it in a good, like, released format rather than like through some, you know, demo, who the hell knows whatever, right? So people would go flipping insane for that. And just honestly putting anything together in a new package, even if you've heard it or you've got it in, you know, I've got all of these songs, but I've got, you know, 5 songs over here, 5 songs over there, 5 songs over there, right? Like putting them together even creates a different picture, right? Then you know, some of like the whole would be bigger than the sum of the parts or whatever. Like, so I don't know, like to me, it seems, and does it have something to do more with they don't want to look back? I don't know, but like,
I have no idea.
If the reason, if that's what he thinks is that the fans don't want it, and I can appreciate that if he thinks that he's meeting that, you know, thought process out there, maybe we should set the record straight. John Taylor, hear us and hear us now. We would be willing to accept any and all projects such as a Duran Duran anthology. Not only that, we would be happy to cheer it, champion it, blog about it, Vodka Friday it, whatever it takes, because we are dying a very slow, and I feel like we're like withering into nothingness, and we need to be fed a little bit here. So please, by all means, let us tell you the real deal, which is that every fan I know, every fan that Rhonda knows would eat this up, my opinion.
And the reality of it is, and this is something you and I have talked about many, many times before, and I suspect it will be continuing to be one of those things we revisit from time to time. I still feel as though there is a great disconnect between what the band thinks, knows, and feels, and what fans think, know, and feel. I don't get it, because other bands respond so much just differently to their fan base than Duran Duran does. And I don't know why. I don't know how. I just know that it exists when I'm sitting and I'm listening to him on, you know, Katy Kafe. I almost said Vodka Friday, but when I'm sitting there and listening to him at, you know, Katy Kafe, and he's saying, you know, there's a hunger from Bowie fans. And I think that what he is saying is that there's a hunger because he is no longer here.
Yeah.
And I get that.
Maybe he's saying it as a Bowie fan.
Well, and you know what? And that is what I really wish that he would remember more, is that everything that he feels as a Bowie fan, and it's so obvious that he's a Bowie fan. He needs to understand that that's exactly how people like you and I feel as a Duran fan. It is no different. Right. You know, the only difference maybe is that you and I use our microphone on a much more regular basis to you know, annoy the hell out of them probably. But
with pride, we do that with pride.
Well, we do it with love and joy and pride and all those things. So, but it is amazing to me. I mean, I don't get the disconnect, and it's there. There's no way anyone could convince me that it's not, because it's like you and I will sit and talk about something, and then he'll show up, or some other people will show up on, you know, in a Katy Cafe, and they'll say stuff, and I'll be like, they don't get it. I don't think they get it. They don't get their own fans.
Yeah. I mean, as you're talking, like, it's sort of, you know, it reminds me, like, I feel like I'm having these conversations in multiple places in my life. Like, I've had conversations, like at work, right? Like, I would love for people who work downtown, who make just decisions about the district, to actually talk to people doing the work. And I'm certain that part of the reason that they don't do, like in this example, that they don't do more of it is maybe because they feel like what they hear from teachers and staff is going to be, I don't know, not like, they're not going to offer anything useful. They're not going to offer anything new. Maybe they're too contrarian, whatever. Right. And then I think that also in terms of campaigns, that very often, like, a campaign doesn't necessarily listen to those people that are on the ground doing the work, talking to voters. And I think in both cases, both types of organizations would be made stronger by listening to the people on the ground. Now, that said, as someone who has come up with, say, campaign plans, I recognize the fact that there's a lot of people that think they know what they're doing or know what should be done, and they don't. And maybe that's the case here. I don't know.
Sure.
Right? That they don't feel like fans have that much to offer, or that they don't really get it themselves. That's maybe true for some people. But then I guess my recommendation to them to keep it real, and I would say this about my district or about campaigns, find the voices that are not that. Find the voices that actually can be meaningful and that can actually help you make that connection, because you will be better off as a result. And so I would say that to the district, I would say that to campaigns, and I would say that to the members of Duran.
And I wouldn't necessarily believe or accept that only the management knows. Mm-hmm. Like, if you're only getting your information from what management is saying currently, I wouldn't say, and this is no disrespect to them, but they are not your fans. Right. They are not people who pay ungodly sums of money to see you at shows, and that have done that since they were 10. Mm-hmm. Or spend they're not. They're people that you're paying to make sure that your promotion, is going well. And I don't know. I personally think, and it's not that I think that they should come to me necessarily.
No,
there's so many people out there that know way more than I do. Right. About the music industry. I mean, Jason is one of them for sure. David O is another. I mean, I can name people off the top of my head that do it. There's so many. Mm-hmm. And those people would be a wealth of knowledge and a bevy of information, even if they didn't want to take it from you and I, because God knows we do our fair share of fangirling, 100%. But I mean, we've also been writing for 10 years. We know.
That accusation.
What?
I was completely innocent of that accusation.
Whatever. Anyway, I don't know. I just think that there's.
Right. That's my point. It's like, find some people that you can, like, it's kind of like getting a focus group, right? Like, I think about like how advertisers or like the makers of movies will like bring in a focus group and like, hey, watch this commercial, or hey, watch this film and give us feedback. Like, I kind of feel like every entity, including Duran, would benefit from having something like that. So like, and so again, it doesn't have, I mean, this wasn't an appeal like, hi, we're here. Like, we'll give you art. Like, that has nothing to do with that, right? I'm just saying, get it somewhere from people.
Yeah, I don't care where.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that there's a lot to be said for that. There really is. And it's, I hate it. I've always felt that way about the disconnect. And I've always felt, that you can go into, feeling dismissed as fans, because we all felt that way. I mean, I remember when we used to talk about that on the message boards. Yeah. So it's just, I don't know. It just awoke some things into me. And then I keep thinking, oh my gosh, you're starting to sound like you were back before Paper Gods was released. And I get that too. Mm-hmm. I'm anxious, of course. I'm not so anxious that I'm negative about the band. I'm more just, I want to take John Taylor and be like, wake up, wake up. We're here. We are all here.
Right.
We,
Yeah, I mean, and obviously the reason that you're kind of worried about this, or, and I think it's a completely valid thing, is that you want new music. You want something to look forward to. You want to, like, show the world your love of the band. Like, this isn't like, if you thought they sucked, you would just like, first of all, you're not going to be doing a Vodka Friday about this. You're going to be,
I don't know. Vodka. Forget the Friday.
you know, pick another band. You're going to be doing, I don't know, a blog about Bon Jovi or something. I don't know. Rose, right? Okay, good. I don't know. I just picked some random name off the top of my head. But you know, so like this isn't
the Killer.
Well, that would be more fitting for the two of us, but just saying. But you know what I mean? Like this isn't about a negative. We want stuff. We want to celebrate the band. And so
we want things.
Yeah. It's hard when it feels like it's, I don't know, maybe we want it more than they do. And I don't know that that's true, but that's
sometimes it feels that way.
That can come across.
Yeah. You know, like I said, I think that there was a lot of stuff. I think there's some fatigue going on. He was, and I may be really wrong, but I did not feel the pep and excitement out of him that I did before Christmas. He seemed really excited. And then he came in this time and he really had tempered himself. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I don't know, there were just a couple of things that he said that I was like, that's different. You know, I don't know. It was weird. Like he's just John. I don't know. Mm-hmm. So it was a fun vodka. Yeah, I keep saying Vodka Friday. Yeah, it was a fun, you know, Katy Kafe, but when he said that stuff, I was like, crap, how much longer is it going to be? I mean, really, if you and I are if we love the music, but we really want to go see them live, then it really doesn't matter. If they wait another year and then we're able to go, fine, whatever. I know they have to do what is best for them. I get it.
Yeah.
It's more just the disconnect that I thought was so strange. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't know. We've been going on about this for hours now, I think.
So. I know. We should probably end it. The point just being, find some people, Duran, we just recommend that. Find some people. You don't have to tell them that you're checking out what they think, but you know, I just recommend it.
We freaking know they could be online as totally different people and checking out Twitter, checking out Facebook, checking out Instagram. Who knows? So maybe they are, but they're not listening to what they see. That's what I mean, unless we're not speaking loud enough, maybe we're not loud enough, Amanda.
Does the world really want us louder or more? I don't know. Maybe that. Put that out there. It's like, hey, people, do you want us louder, more obnoxious? I don't know. On that note,
I think we should be. All right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.